A lot of people have been wondering on House of Payne, where is Lisa? Well, my thing is this. I think Lisa had the Floyd syndrome. What I mean by this is typically she was a character who would fill in the gaps whenever one of the main characters wasn't able to, be in an episode or the show for an extended period of time. Now, I use Floyd as the example because I can't remember the season. I think it was probably during pandemic filming, but I don't think it was ever confirmed. But some sources online did say that uh, Levan Davis tested positive and he wasn't able to film for a little while, or it was something else. Like I said, it's iffy, but regardless, there was one particular season of the show where Curtis was absent for a large chunk of it, and as a result, Floyd became more of a prominent character. It kind of reminded me of Sanford and Son, when behind the scenes Red Fox, went back and forth with the creators over money and he walked off the show. So for an extended amount of episodes, it was just stated Fred was on out of town for business or vacation or something, and Grady moved in to live with Lamont. I didn't understand as a kid what was going on. I just thought, oh, okay, Fred is off somewhere and Grady came in. But no, it turns out that behind the scenes reasons is why Red Fox was out the show for a while and Grady stepped up, kind of being like pseudo Fred. Some of my favorite episodes, by the way, especially the Social Security check. But when it came to Curtis being gone, Floyd stepped up and kind of became the Curtis for a while. And it got to the point where, and I kid you not, you might not remember this, but some fans were even speculating like, oh man, at this point, what's going to happen? Will Ella and Curtis get a divorce and she get with Floyd because Curtis has been gone so long? And you can't really blame fans for thinking it because Floyd was always over at Ella and Curtis's house, almost like he lived there because he was always over there. But I bring that example up because as soon as Levan came back, boom, Floyd, regressed back to his reoccurring role as opposed to being like a main role. Now, when it comes to Lisa, I feel like the same thing applies because what was it? The first season of the reboot, she was in there sporadically. Yeah, she was in there a decent amount. But then as soon as the second season of the reboot came, that's when Janine and Jasmine were just gone. That was it. Because I know in the first season of the reboot, Janine was a guest star. She was only in like 4 episodes, probably 4 or 5, and in not that many scenes. Because, of course, Demetria has a busy schedule. And, hey, I'm always happy to hear that the actors are busy. But as a fan of the series, it is disappointing to have a show return and one of the fan favorites isn't there, regularly. Now, from seasons, let me see, though, season 9, so 10, 11, and I want to say half of 12. So for a good chunk, about 2.5 seasons, Lisa was in a lot of episodes. She was in a lot of episodes to the point where really it almost felt like CJ, Malik, Lisa, and very rarely the twins were in that house. Janine was always away at work and Jasmine was on college campus. But then it got to the point where China came back and she, became more of a regular character. And as a result, Lisa kind of fell back to the wayside. And she did have some, pop-up appearances. But as soon as Demetria came back, what was that episode? It was the season premiere where it was odd since the first episode didn't have any laugh track whatsoever. But, like New Money, I think that was the title of it. That's when Janine came back and Lisa, you could literally count on one hand the number of times she popped up in a season. So I feel like Lisa is one of those stories where maybe it wasn't the best to introduce her at all because of the fact that some fans, and what was it, a couple episodes ago, where Malik was getting ready for work and, he was chatting it up with his family about their agenda for the day. Like Janine was training somebody, and CJ was going to some city council meeting, and Jasmine had to meet with her group for school, journalism class. And people were like, yeah, this is what we like to see. The family leveled up, aged up, if you will, where the kids are no longer kids. They have things on their itinerary to do. And I just think one of my favorite moments was when Malik was like, you know what, I need to see if I can make time in my schedule to go to that council meeting too. And CJ's like, yeah, call me. If you're able to make it, I'll save you a seat. It just shows that they've grown up. And maybe they did make a mistake with the whole Lisa getting pregnant and Malik being a dad, yet he still lives at home. It just feels like that part of the story rarely, is brought up. I think it was interesting, though, to actually see Melissa for the first time ever in, what was it? Was it the first episode of this season? Yeah, because I remember saying, wow, it took, 3 seasons where we finally see the baby? And Lisa is nowhere to be seen. Wait a minute. This was episode 8 of season 14 that we just had a couple days ago. And now that I think about it, I don't even think we've seen Lisa at all this season. No, we haven't. I don't know when she is. I know her mom showed up. Her mom was there talking to Janine about the councilman, but I don't know. So I don't know if this is because the actor or the actress is, working on other projects, but I'm more inclined to believe that it's just a situation where Lisa just isn't that prominent of a character anymore. That doesn't mean she's gone forever, but she's referenced, and I don't know, maybe we'll get something big like she pops up and Malik proposes, or if we do get to the wedding where Laura and Calvin are supposed to, go through with it, I hope she pops up for that. I mean, with it being a wedding episode, again, if they get to that point, you would hope everybody would be there, but we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think the last time we saw Lisa was in House of Love, the season 13 finale. But like and subscribe. And what do you think of the Lisa character? Do you think she should be scrapped completely, retconned out of the story? Would you like to see more of her? Let's talk about it.